Alright, so I'm going to just run through some of the stuff that I think would be good to know that you may not already know, or that we haven't specifically done a problem like it. First, things that you do know to make sure that you remember: to find the vector between 2 points. So if I have a point 0, 1, 3, and B is 1, negative 1, 2, the vector from A to B, so AB from A to B, you take B minus A. So 1 minus 0, minus 1, minus 1, 2 minus 3, or 1, negative 2, and negative 1. So that's how you find the vector between 2 points. I know you know how to find the cross product between two vectors, so I'm not going to go over that. But let's say that I have, so this we haven't done something specifically like that. So if the magnitude of A equals 5 and the magnitude of B equals 3 and theta equals 30 degrees, what is A cross B, the magnitude of it? Okay, so the magnitude of a cross product equals, so the magnitude of a cross product equals the magnitude of A times the magnitude of B times the sine of the angle between them. So in this case, that would be 5 times 3 times sine 30, or 15 sine 30. And if you remember that the sine of 30 is 0.5 or a half, that's 15 times a half, or 15 halves. Okay, so that's how you do that. So try this one. If the magnitude of U is 2 and the magnitude of W is 4, what is the magnitude of U cross W? Okay, so now pause it and figure out your answer. Oh, you need one more thing. And theta equals 90 degrees. What is the magnitude of U cross W? So pause it and figure out your answer, and then come back and check it. Okay, so the answer is the magnitude of U cross W is the magnitude of U times the magnitude of W times the sine of theta. So that is 2 times 4 times the sine of 90 degrees, and the sine of 90 degrees is 1, and so that's 8. Okay, so what are some values of sine that you should know? So again, if you just write sine 90, you'll probably get 4 out of 5 points, but these are the ones you should know. The sine of 0 is 0. The sine of 45 degrees is a square root of 2 over 2. The sine of 30 degrees is 1/2. The sine of 60 degrees is the square root of 3 over 2. And the sine of 90 degrees is 1. And 0 degrees is 0 radians. 45 degrees is pi over 4 radians. 30 degrees is pi over 6 radians. 60 degrees is pi over 3 radians. And 90 degrees is pi over 2 radians. Put this aside if you don't know these. Put this aside and learn these later. It's going to be important to know, just in general, to have these handy. But when you have time, work on them. But that's not the important point. Okay, so the important point right now was to remember that the magnitude of u cross v is the magnitude of u times the magnitude of v times the sine of the angle between them. So let's look at another example. If u cross v equals 6 I minus k, and the magnitude of u is 3, and the magnitude of v is 1, what is theta? Alright, so with all these magnitudes in here, we know what we'll be looking at is the magnitude of u cross v equals the magnitude of u times the magnitude of v times the sine of the angle between them. So let's start with the magnitude of u cross v. They don't give that to us, but they do give us what u cross v is. And so we know how to find the magnitude. The magnitude of u cross v, anytime you need to find the magnitude, that's where you take the square root of the squares. So that is 36, or 6 squared plus -1 squared, or the square root of 36 plus 1, or the square root of 37. So this is the square root of 37 equals the magnitude of u is 3, the magnitude of v is 1, times the sine of theta. And then from here, you get square root of 37 equals 3 sine theta. Divide both sides by 3. Square root of 37 over 3 equals sine theta. And then this is just like the one on the dot products. So theta equals the inverse sine of the square root of 37 over 3, which is really bad because that ends up being impossible. But let me go back and change my problem and say the magnitude of u is 9. So if the magnitude of u is 9, then I get 9 here, and 9 here, and 9 here, and 9 here, and 9 here. And now at least I have a problem that is possible. Okay, so now let me give you one. So you try this one. If u cross v is 3i plus 1j plus 2k, and the magnitude of u is 5, and the magnitude of v is 3, what is theta? Okay, so now pause it, and now you work it. Okay, so you see all these magnitudes, you know it's going to be a problem where you have the magnitude of u cross the magnitude of v equals the magnitude of u times the magnitude of v times the sine of theta. So the magnitude of u cross v, that will be the square root of 3 squared plus 1 squared plus 2 squared. That comes from this. So anytime you need to find the magnitude, you do that. Equals 5 times 3 times sine theta. So this is the square root of 9 plus 1 is 10 plus 4 is 14 equals 15 sine theta. Divide both sides by 15. The square root of 14 over 15 equals sine theta. And then theta equals the inverse sine of the square root of 14 over 15. Okay, so the last thing you need to know, and this one is brand new, and it's the volume of a parallel pipe head. Parallel pipe head. So a parallel pipe head is a three-dimensional thing. So 3 dimensions, and I have a vector here A, and a vector here B, and a vector here C. And the volume of the parallel pipe head is called the scalar triple product. So the volume is the dot product of A times the cross product of B times C. This is what I think you're probably going to be asked. That's my guess, is that this is going to be what you're going to be asked. It's not hard. It's really not hard. You just have to remember how to do it. So what is the volume of the parallel pipe head spanned by A equals I plus 2j plus k, B equals negative 2I minus k, C equals 3I plus 2j. So the volume is A dot B cross C. So you do B cross C first. So B cross C. I, J, K. B is going to be negative 2. There's no J, so put in a 0. Minus 1 for K. For C, it's 3, 2. There's no K, so put in a 0. So I'm going to do this quickly because I have to get to physical therapy, but you can come back and check this. So, and I very well might make a mistake, but let's see. So this is I, 0 plus 2 minus J, 0 plus 3 plus K, negative 4 minus 0, which is 2I minus 3J minus 4K. That very well might have a mistake in it. Okay, so it's going to be A dot that. So what was A? A was I plus 2J plus K. A is I plus 2J plus K. And the dot product with 2I minus 3J minus 4K. Now remember, with the dot product, you just multiply. So 2 times 1 plus 2 times negative 3 plus 1 times negative 4. So that's 2 minus 6 minus 4, 2 minus 10, or negative 8. And if I made a mistake in the arithmetic, I probably did. Okay, so you try this one. What is the volume of the parallel pipe head spanned by A equals 1I plus 2J minus K, B equals 2I plus 3J, C equals 2J plus K. So pause it, do it, and then come back and see if we get the same thing. B cross C, IJK, 2, 3, 0, 0, 2, 1, equals I times 3 minus 0 minus J times 4 minus 0 plus K times 4 minus 0. J should have been 2 minus 0. I, 3 minus 0. J, 2 minus 0. K, 4 minus 0. So I get 3I minus 2j plus 4k. So that's B cross C. Now I need to dot that with with A. A is I plus 2j minus k. And I need to dot that with 3i minus 2j plus k. And that would give me 3 times 1 plus 2 times negative 2 plus negative 1 times 1, which is 3 plus negative 4 plus negative 1, which is 3 minus 5, which might be negative 2 if I didn't make any mistakes. Okay, so you know how to do this, so even if I made mistakes, you do know how to do it. So the volume of a parallel pipette is just the first vector dotted with the cross product of the other vectors. And you know how to do cross products, so that's not a problem. The only other thing to make sure you know is that he had in his note angles. The magnitude of the cross product equals the magnitude of one vector times the magnitude of the other vector times the sine of the angle between them. Text me if you have questions, and good luck.